Jehan runs his fingers across his temples and scalp, intermittently squeezing and massaging, as if nursing a severe headache.
His voice no longer speaks to us, my dear. But I'm afraid my recovery will take a touch of time. I am well past my prime, you know. Savor your freedom, Losa. Take some time and find your true self in that busy mind of yours. A drama leak may no longer reside there. It's finally safe to explore the uncharted corners. I have no plans whatsoever, beyond dusting my head for crud and cobwebs. After that...
Yes? A battle lost. A war begun. Dallas and that pet of hers are a force to be reckoned with. There is more to them than meets the eye. But what truly makes me pause is the fate of the Seven. How pitiful they were at the end. Think on it. Gods reduced to snarling beasts. So starved of source, it made them rabid. Think on it, because that is what we're fighting for. To be a god, knowing what a god really is.
City of Secrets it is. And you know...
The spirit of a painting hovers where the painting itself once stood. The second passion of Lucian, you presume.
City of Secrets. You got what you can.
What's this? I found something.
Wendigo lies on the floor, her essence all but drained from her frail bones. She shifts with a light clatter at the sight of you.
The God King's punishment awaits. I pray it arrives soon. This is what becomes of the King's fallen angels. Torture, decay. I came for the Sworn Breaker. I found only Kem's fury. It's a hope I can't afford myself. But if you should ever offer such a gift, I wouldn't refuse it.
A dagger of pain shoots through your head, halting your advance instantly. You hear a voice, soft and calm, yet laced with disappointment.
Such a long journey you have undertaken, in the service of thieving charlatans, in pursuit of that which you will never obtain.
A long, sad sigh reaches you from the depths of the void itself.
I saw your abysmal treatment of my servant Isbale. Please, test my patience no further. This is your last chance. Abandon this folly, leave, and never return.
I am the past. I will be the future. I am the God King. You are but a misguided servant. Heed my words and leave. I do not wish you harm unless you force my hand. Because my followers are many, my followers are everywhere. Your endeavors are pointless.
The voice fades away, and with it, the pain. Only the God King knows the weight of responsibility. Only the God King.
There's someone here. He seems to be in great pain.
The man before you writhes in pain, oblivious to you. Otherworldly shackles are coiled all around him. The man raises his head with an anguished groan.
I am Ahu. Well, your search is at an end. Apologies if you were expecting a more convivial setting.
He coughs up a gout of blood. Before he can respond to your criticism, his eyes roll back and he passes out from the pain.
Lucky find.
Windigo lies on the floor.
Fate can't be avoided, it seems. Please, just leave me to the God King's whims. A sworn breaker? Please, I beg of you, end this curse.
Let the God King have her. Once Black Ring, always Black Ring.
Consider me moved, Godwoken. Your mercy is boundless. And now I break his shackles and end this misery. No goodbye has ever been sweeter.
Windigo's bones clatter to the floor. She is free to enter the hall, free of the God King's shackles. You hear a voice echoing within you, Windigo's voice.
I am me, and only me. The next move is yours, Godwoken.
It wasn't her that failed her lord. It was her lord that failed her.
You give her far too much credit. She was no more than a blundering slave, unfit for the lone task she was given.
The man doesn't respond.
Ghosts! And they're tearing his soul apart.
The spirit ignores you, focused as it is on tearing the source from its captive. It stinks of dark magic. There's nothing in the spirit but pain, its own and that of its captive. He resists the agony, but it's only a matter of time before the spirits tear his source away. The pain begins to hurt you too. The spirit seizes the pain you inflict upon it and turns it back on you. The pain you share nears unbearable levels, and the spirit begins to smile. This is the pinnacle of its existence. And then it exists no more. The pain it gave you ebbs away.
Stop! I told you to leave! You're going to kill me! There's nothing you can do.
He shudders as fresh waves of pain course through him.
Leave, or you still have a chance. And don't touch the...
He passes out mid-sentence from the pain. The dark stench assails you. The spirit concentrates on tearing the source from its captive. The dark stench assails you. The spirit concentrates on tearing the source from its captive. The spirit seizes the pain you inflict upon it and turns it back on you. The pain you share nears unbearable levels, and the spirit begins to smile. This is the pinnacle of its existence. And then it exists no more. The pain it gave you ebbs away.
Stop! Yeah! Stop! Please stop! The pain! It's too much!
His face goes slack as the pain renders him senseless. The man doesn't respond. He's out cold. The dark stench. The spirit seizes the pain you inflict upon it and turns it back on you. The pain you share nears unbearable levels, and the spirit begins to smile. This is the pinnacle of its existence. And then it exists no more. The pain it gave you ebbs away.
Our guest alive. Pain only, no mutilation. Until the master
My dear Lord Ahu, you should have told me you were expecting visitors.
Run, you fools!
I might ask you the same. This place is mine, after all, and Ahu was my prisoner.
Why, Kem? Why betray everything for which you once stood?
Betray? I didn't betray the Order. I liberated it. As one of Lucian's pawns, I stood for weakness, frailty. And then the God King showed me the world as it could be. He made me a promise. He promised me a path unburdened by Lucian's pathetic need to defend the defenseless. He promised me a world dominated by the worthiest bloodlines across the ages.
He promised me a lasting seat at his glorious table in return for my oath. For the king chooses only the strongest, the most loyal, the most deserving.
And now, Godwoken, I uphold the final act of my oath. Your execution. You can forget about finding Lucian. Believe me, no good comes from our so-called divine.
That poison peddler. A swamp frog is a more potent warrior. Let me show you the power of the king's true chosen.
doesn't it?
watches you, composed and dignified, even in death.
Of course you do, Godwin. Why else would you seek out a tired old spectre like myself? But what you ask was expressly forbidden by the Divine. Lucian was so intent his tomb remained sacred that he enacted the Sorcerer Pogrom. Better to silence all sorcerers than to chance a god-woken arising and entering. His paranoia was so great, he saw to it that his tomb was turned into a fortress to thwart the likes of you. I swore to uphold his wishes, but that was before the Voidwoken. I know. Lucian's plan has failed. The world needs a Godwoken to ascend. I am not one to break an oath lightly. But I'm also not one to ignore the truth. Not when it's written in my own blood. The void nears. I'd sooner the future be in the hands of a Godwoken than with the Black Ring. Nobody knows every step of the way to Lucian's tomb. But I'll do what I can for you. First, you must get past the Path of Blood. An amulet filled with Source, paired with the Scroll of Atonement, will let you by unharmed. A man named Saunders was the engineer who designed the Path of Blood. He works as a toy seller now, right here in Arx. Tell him that I sent you. He will give you what you need. Put the amulet on and charge it up by consuming Source. Once it's got 5 charges in it, it'll be ready to go. Bring the amulet and the scroll to the Path of Blood. By the statue of Lucian, there is a hidden mechanism. Set the fully charged amulet in the hidden receptacle, then read from the scroll. But beware, many obstacles remain. I can help with only one. The Death Room is a chamber of many levers. 5 will lead you closer to your goal. The rest will lead you to your death. Each lever is named for a virtue of the Divine. Find the levers whose initials spell the word power. Select these 5 and these alone. Then ask. The Divine cannot be asked such questions, Godwoken. Besides, I trusted him. He must have had his reasons. I just hope he'll forgive me for breaking the oath I swore. He said that if anyone were to approach his remains, then the world would be left vulnerable to the void. It was not for me to question how, only to serve. Farewell, Godwoken. The Hall of Echoes beckons me.
With a glint in the dark of his eye, the spirit of Kem sneers at you.
I am sworn to the king, and sworn I remain, Godwoken. I owe you nothing. It matters not if you defeat every last lich whose bones have risen in my master's honor, Godwoken. With or without me, with or without Ishbael, the God King rises. My aims are, no less than the God King's triumph. That's all you... Enough! Is it not obvious to you? To own this city is to own the cathedral, to own the tomb, to own Lucian. Lucian is the key. The 7 may be dead, but their essence still lives within his rotting corpse. When the God King claims that final pearl of divinity, his reign will begin. Imagine it, Godwoken, a pure and perfect world. Cowards will no longer beg for scraps at warriors' feet. The fruits of our own labor will belong only to us. The divinity held within Lucian's cadaver belongs only to the King's chosen. And you are not worthy. My master requires nothing less than the dead divine lying in its most famous tomb.
there is still the wisp of the Seven residing with...
What? No! No! This was not the deal! This was not the deal! I will return! I will return!
Lady Kem has been kind enough to host me until I can return to the kingdom. I vow to take greater care in whom I trust. I must seek to avoid further tragedy than we have already seen. Kem? Linder Kem? This rot has infected the very soil we tread and the air we breathe. I must not let it reach the kingdom. Yes? What about them? I rebuild. The Dwarven people deserve answers. They deserve apologies. They deserve to walk the streets and sing their songs without fearing to offend their sovereign. They deserve a future, a jubilant one. It's up to me to give it to them. A mother would do anything for her children. Isbale convinced me there were bogeymen lurking in every corner, dark or bright. My children, the dwarves, I wanted only to keep them safe. It was only a matter of time before the Order would come for us, she said. The scouts talked of living. Isbale was certain that destroying Arks was... My mistakes will always burden. Farewell.